Where were you when you heard the news of the bombing of Pearl Harbor?
I think I was on a date in East Nashville with my wife. That's the best I remember. It was on Sunday. I can't tell you what time Sunday. It was around church time. But other than that, I can't tell you a whole lot about Pearl Harbor. I didn't know where it was.
You didn't?
No.
Did you?
Pardon?
Did you realize what it was going to mean?
Oh yeah. Well, of course, it was rumored months before that they was buying up everything they could get, metal and stuff like that they didn't have on their defense. So it was no real surprise. If you read the paper at all, you had a pretty good idea what was going on. Of course, the people that bothered most was those waiting to be inducted right then, because they was ready to go. I went in June of '43.
Well, now you were here for a while then, between the bombing of Pearl Harbor and when you went in, and I've heard a lot of people talk about the patriotism at that time and how great the patriotism was.
It was. It changed the entire nation. And it was, I guess that's all you can say about it. Everybody was patriotic back then. You didn't have to worry too much about what was going on, because people, even bums and all, adhered to the patriotism sign. And it was more or less voluntary. They didn't have to get out and publicize. Now you had signs out on the road with mailbox on, I want you, Uncle Sam fans. You've probably seen those. They were all up and down the road. And then I can't say that it changed a whole lot other than just the attitude that people had now.
I've heard of victory gardens, victory quilts, rationing, all those kind of things. Tell me what you remember of that kind of stuff.
Well, now, I can remember rationing. We didn't have a garden. We lived on a city lot in Nashville. But rationing was certain items, and it changed from time to time. Sugar, tuna fish, salmon, sugar. I said sugar.
Tires?
Tires was rationed. Gas was rationed. I had a 37 model Buick in, and it took 4 stamps to fill it up. I think they were worth 5. They were aircraft stamps. I didn't have aircraft, but I had aircraft stamps, and I used those, and I could fill up all 4 stamps. And sugar would vary from time to time. You might have it this week, and next month you wouldn't have any. And people stockpiled a lot of that just to get by, where they'd have it stockpiled for later use.
Tell me about that day. Does it bother you to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Tell me
About
that
December 7th?
Mm-hmm.
I was in bed. What was it? It was a Sunday morning, and about 10 minutes till 8. The clocks on our wall stopped at 7 minutes till 8. So they bombed that place after I left. And they were bombing Pearl Harbor, and I went down to the window. I was in the second story and looked out below, and my friend that I had gone into the service with was down playing catch football out in the big parade field out the edge of the building. And I said, "What's going on, Delbert?" And he said, "I don't know, but they're using live ammunition." And about that time, a Japanese Zeke came by and had a machine gunner standing up in the back shooting right at me, you know. And I had a big orange dot on the side of the airplane. Said it was Japanese. Mm-hmm. And of course, I ducked down behind a concrete wall in the bed. It was a concrete barrack, 6-inch walls, and the other outside of that wall there was just pockmarks with bullet holes, and they're still there.
They never repaired them, they just painted them. So all of the barracks and the bullet holes are there for history.
When did you enter the service?
1942.
Okay, so you remember the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Oh, I certainly do.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about that day.
I remember this was in December, of course, and I was out in our backyard taking a sunbath. This is California, you know. And my mother came and told me that on the radio this had been announced. And actually, I have a picture of myself out in the backyard with my mother coming to the door and telling me about its happening.
Now, were you already working at that time, or were
Yes.
you still in school?
I had been working. I started working in 1936.
Okay.
I graduated from high school in 35 and went to business school, and then went to work for an insurance company in 1936.
Okay. Okay. So you had been working there for a few years when this happens.
Yes. This was 41, so 5 years then, and then I joined the service in 42.
Did you realize what the impact of that day, the attack on Pearl Harbor, what that would mean on the country?
Oh, yes. I really did. In fact, I had to, out of this money that I had made working, I saved enough to take a trip to Honolulu in 1938.
Oh.
So I was very familiar with the Pearl Harbor and all of the surroundings, and I had an extra reason to be interested in it. And it was a great impact.
Well, you know, so many people that I've talked to said that they didn't even know where Pearl Harbor was, but that's not a case for you,
no.
being in California.
And living out on the West Coast, you know. And then after that, we had blackouts, several nights, and sometimes all night long we'd be in blackout. And we couldn't even go to work in the morning because there was no transportation, and we had to wait till the blackout was lifted.
Now, was that for security reasons? So there was great fear.
Oh, great fear. Oh, yes.
Tell me about that.
We thought we were going to be attacked. In fact, one night, it got so bad that we thought we were being bombed, and we went upstairs, I know, and watched, and we saw all these tracers up in the sky and noises like bombing and shooting and all sorts of things. We were just panic-stricken, and then everybody felt the same way. And then the next day, for some reason, it was in the papers, and then all of a sudden it was quieted, and nothing more was said about it. And we never knew just what was happening. And then, of course, I was with the USO, and I went to the centers where they served the food, and to the USO dances and all. And one time I remember we were taken on a bus to go to this club, whatever it was, and the men were brought in buses too, and we had this dance, and all of a sudden the air raid signal blew, and the men just rushed out of there so fast, and then they put us on the bus and took us home. So we had several experiences really with the war.